Hey, hey, how's it going? If you're new here, my name is Jan and I love makeup. And if you're not new, thanks for coming back. I really appreciate you. Obviously, we're doing another Purple Rain video today, and shockingly enough, I'm super excited about this. I decided to pull a couple of palettes I haven't reached for in a minute, though I think one of them I did recently use one shade from. Anyway, I pulled out my Blend Bunny All Done Up palette because this is, well, first of all, it's a lovely palette. Second, I haven't used it in a while. And third, it's got some neutral shades, which I think will work with the multi-chrome I chose from the Divina Cosmetics Mystic Cove collection. I have all of them in this little palette, but I'm thinking I want to use either Galeen or Thetis. So Galeen is here and Thetis is up here. They're both multi-duochromes. Thetis is purple, blue, green. Nope, just kidding, that was Galeen. Galeen is purple, blue, green. Thetis is like orange and pink and green and purple. They're just so pretty. Palamon is also a multi-chrome that shifts with purple. That would be this one over here. Oof. Yeah, so I'm going to somehow choose one of those shades to use all over my lid, because the larger area you apply a multi-chrome to, the more multi-chromey it looks. So that's my plan. I'm probably going to end up doing like Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo or something. They're all so beautiful. Yeah, I recently used Skyla and Electra, I think, in a video. And recently, I mean within the last, 6 months or so. My memory is terrible. So anyway, I'm going to quit yammering nonsense and get into applying the makeups. I think I have a plan. So I'm going in with the Blend Bunny palette and the shade Vision first, because I think I chose what multi-chrome I want to use. I really enjoy multi-chrome eyeshadows, but in order to get the most out of them, you really need to limit how many you use if you want that multi-chrome to do its multi-chromey thing, which I do today. I have Vision blended out on both eyes. It's a very light shade, which is nice for a transition. So now I'm going to go into the shade Muse. Am I? No. See, I've done a lot of green and purple. I'm instinctively drawn to green and purple. Let's go with the shade The Look, which would actually go with any of the multi-chromes that I chose, or could have chosen from. Anyway, I was in here getting ready to start filming, and Mike came home from work for a minute and brought me macaroons from the little bakery that he goes to. He called it something. One Way, maybe? I'm not sure. I've never been, and this is the first time he's brought me something from there. He talks about it and, you know, has told me that they've got really good stuff, but it's my first time. So I had a little bite and it was so yummy. That's gonna be a tasty little treat later on. I'm just going to apply this shade called The Look all over my other eye. Now I'm gonna go into the shade Smokin' very lightly on my little Divina D103. It's like a pencil brush, really small, very good for detail. I love the Davina brushes. For a synthetic brush, they're fabulous. But also, Deandra is my age. We're very, very close in age. And she and I have almost twin eyelids. They're both chubby, and they're both hooded, and she also likes really like fun, funky, interesting makeup as well. So when she created these brushes, I was like, oh yeah, I cannot wait to get my hands on them. Because we have such similar eyelids, I assumed I would really, really like the brushes, and I assumed correctly. I do. They're so good. Love, love, love them. So I'm just darkening up my crease a little bit. And if you're new here, my eyelids are hooded, so I take my darkest shade, that would be my crease shade, up higher than I would if my eyelids weren't hooded. Now I'm gonna take my little Rephr pencil brush and just boop over the edge with that The Look shade from the Blend Bunny palette, just to get a nice soft blend. And then I'll go in with my bigger brush to blend a little bit more. Okay, now I'm going in with the larger, fluffier brush. It has a lighter, it's bigger and fluffier, so it's lighter application, really good for blending. I think that is pretty okay. I will, of course, double check the 10x, but I just really want to put the multi-chrome on. But I'm wondering if I should put it on over that dark shade, all over my lid. I feel like I should do that. I think it's gonna make it that much more impactful. Okay, I grabbed my Rephr 02, and I'm gonna take the shade Smokin', and that's gonna go all over my lid. As a base for Colleen. I think it's gonna make it just really, really cool. I'm gonna leave the very inner corner not darkened. That way I can bring some light in there, and hopefully my eyes won't look super small. Taking Smokin' along the outer part of my lower lash line as well. Okay, I'll go in and fine tune and fuss with the blend after. I just want to get the shimmer on, or the multi-chrome. All right, I went off camera for a minute and caught up my left eye with my right eye and just blended and fussed a little bit. Did the same thing. I did want to mention though, at this point, because I was surprised, I had been using my Rephr 15 Mini. This is a big fluffy brush. I mean, bigger than I normally use, for the shade The Look. And because I was blending the Smokin' shade with The Look, I grabbed my Rephr 13 into The Look and then started blending, and it came out so much darker than the shade did with the 15 Mini. It amazes me and kind of baffles me, I guess, a little bit, how different brushes will do different things. It's so interesting. So anytime somebody tells you you don't need all those brushes, you tell them you do need them. They all do something different. But I think I'm at a point where I pretty much like the blend. I probably should work on this one a little bit more before I put on the shimmers because I don't want to blend the shimmers all over my eyes. But I'm thinking this is probably good enough for the girls I go out with. That's what my sister's husband always says, which is, you know, her and the kids. So, okay, I am going to go in with the shimmer shade now. I can go back into the mattes if I need to, but I really want to use these. The names are so interesting. Deandra is clever. I'm actually going to wet my Rephr 02 Max. This isn't the brush I always use, but Thetis is a bit of a flaky, trickier shade for me. So if I wet it and I use this brush, I can use it almost like a liquid, and it will, I believe, work more in my favor. I'm not going to say better because it's just different. And I can't see any purple in the mirror. Can you? I see purple looking down at it. I hate when people put eyeshadow on their faces, but just so you can see, that's what the shade looks like over not a dark base. That is so interesting. I think I will use a different shade on the inner corner just to brighten it a bit. But let's carry on with applying Thetis to my other eye. Same brush, it's still wet. Obviously, it's a natural hairbrush. It does not dry quickly. And I just use water. I know some people like setting spray, some people prefer a glitter adhesive type primer, which Davina does do a really, really good one. And I do use it and like it. But I wanted this to be very full on, so I knew I'd have to wet it. What an interesting turn of events. I'm just gonna wipe off my chin real quick. Now I'm wondering if I should try to layer a bit of something else. I don't know. Let's look at Galeen on the other side of that same brush. I think I'm going to put Galeen out here. Am I making a mistake? I don't know. You're probably screaming, "Stop it! We could see the purple!" But I, of course, don't know that because that hasn't happened yet. Okay, so there's a little bit of purple. That shade is absolutely stunning. I'm so confused. I feel like mistakes were made here. And now, am I making it worse? Am I making it better? Was it in fact a mistake, or was it fine? Okay, I'm going to layer Galeen over all of Thetis. I don't know what I'm doing. Hopefully it all comes out good in the end. Again, intentionally leaving that inner corner area alone. Now I feel like it just looks kind of gray. Okay, well, I mean, I have to continue, so I'm going to trust the process and put Galeen over Thetis on this eye as well. I'm gonna go off camera, whack on the rest of my makeups, do all the things, and then I'll come back and show you the finished look, and we'll see if I made bigger mistakes. All right, I'm back, and clearly everything is done. Let me scoot you in for an up-close reconnoiter at the eyes. At this point, I have no idea what they look like, if you can see any purple at all. This was a trip. I don't know. I enjoy multi-chromes as much as the next guy, but I do think it does make it tricky planning out a look. I ended up using the Thetis on my lower lash line from like inner to just past halfway, and then I used Palimon in as my like inner corner swoosh and, you know, highlight. This is Palimon here in the middle. Looking in the mirror, it's purple, and then like turquoisey or oceany blue-green. This has been a trip. I like the look, and weirdly, I put this look on at about 9 this morning. It's 2 o'clock right now, because Sister Karen came over with the girls and we were hanging out, and I didn't have time to finish the video before they got here, so I just figured I'd finish it when they left. And I mean, my eyeshadow looks brand new, which is amazing. I will say I had some little flakies falling off, and there's a few around my face. As soon as I noticed it, I did a little bit of a spritz with my Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. I use it as a primer most of the time, or I'll use it to set my concealer on my under eyes, because, you know, 47, so there's wrinkles and texture and all kinds of fun things, and that helps to keep it from wrinkling. So I thought if I sprayed it on my eyeshadow, that would maybe help it to not sprinkle off onto my face, and I think it has helped. I can't say for sure because I did both eyes, and, you know, there was some sprinkling from before, but I don't love when eyeshadows do that, because I don't know, I think it just looks a little bit messy, specifically on me. I don't know, other people might love it, and that's totally fine, but it's not a lot, so I think that's pretty darn cool. And I did use all of them wet, which certainly helps. But anything else I need to remember to tell you? I'm wearing another pair of the earrings that I ordered from Charrings UK. They're little bubble earrings, and they have actual bubbles in them, which I didn't realize. I thought the bubble was more of like the shape and sort of like texture of the earring, but there's actual liquid in them that's bubbles, which I think is fabulous. Will I use them as bubbles? Probably not, because I'm not a fan of bubbles, but I think they're super cute and purple. So I did line my waterline with my multi-chrome purple liner from Colourpop just to definitely have some purple in there. But I don't know, what do you think? Does this look count? Can you see any purple at all in my eyeshadow? I don't know, but it was fun, and that's what this is about. So I'm going to leave you alone now and go, I'm gonna have a little lunch, and by lunch I mean a couple of little bite-sized peanut butter cups and maybe a cookies and cream kiss. It's a light lunch, okay? Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Either way, I appreciate you. Be good, and remember to be kind to you.